Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Jermaine, and I'm back with another Simple Truth episode. And when you do things like report on stories that happen out in the news, sometimes, sometimes we find some things that are just so unspeakable. They're so sick that it's just hard to believe that this isn't something that was crafted or written by a Hollywood writer. Ladies and gentlemen, I came across a story yesterday that many of you may have heard of. It was on news1.com, and there are other sources that have reported this same story. But here in Ohio, where I'm from, there was a story of a woman who unveiled a secret that was just honestly and truly just something that it makes you shake your head and say, how could something like this actually happen? But it's believable to the point that we are in a land that seems to be so wicked that anything is possible. I want to share this story with you. The title of the story is Say What? Ohio woman finds out she was married to father. Do you hear this, ladies and gentlemen? A woman finds out that she was married to her father. Let me read this. It says Valerie Spruill decided to reveal her bizarre story to a small Ohio paper, the Akron Beacon, about a family secret that is so unimaginable that it can make anyone's skin crawl. What did it take years for her to reveal? 6 years after her husband passed away in 1998, Spruill found out that he was in fact her biological father. Spruill came from a small town of about 3,000 residents called Doylestown in Wayne County, Ohio. Spruill's dad, Percy, married her mother when they were only 15 years old. She does not know how many children the couple had together and is only aware of 6 brothers. At only 3 months old, Spruill was given to her grandmother to raise. As a young child, she began to see pieces of life that just didn't seem to fit together. At 9 years old, Spruill was told that the man she had come to know as her father was in fact her grandfather, which was a blow. Spruill was also informed that a woman named Christina, who occasionally came to visit the family, was in fact her biological mother. Family secrets seemed to reign supreme in Spruill's household as she later uncovered a shameful discovery about her mother. It seems that Christina had been a well-known night lady or a prostitute who was one of 3 women who testified in the infamous 1980 corruption trial of Summit County probate judge James Baruto. How Spruill came to find out about her beloved husband Percy's actual blood ties to her was when an uncle spilled the beans. Even though Spruill didn't believe her uncle's claim at first, she decided that she had to know for sure. The mother of 3 and grandmother of 8 decided to go the DNA route, which could only produce concrete evidence on whether her husband was in fact also her father. The report from the lab stated that Percy was in fact Spruill's father. 5 years ago, Spruill accidentally stumbled upon one of her husband's old hairbrushes, which she found stuck under a dresser. She submitted Percy's hairs from the brush to a DNA testing facility. Percy, who passed away at age 60, had worked as a truck driver in Akron, Ohio, and then as a parking attendant at a health center. Spruill says that her father might have had more than an inkling that she was his daughter, but might have been just too scared to inform her. After suffering a slew of serious health issues, which she thinks were brought on by the stress of her mortifying discovery, Spruill has been under the care of a therapist, whom she credits for helping her to not take blame for her circumstances. I've been getting great help, she says, because God knows if I hadn't have went and aired out how I feel, I wouldn't have made it, because I would have continued to stress out about this problem, Spruill tells the Akron Beacon. Does she harbor any hatred toward Percy? Spruill says that she literally fights to keep from hating her husband and father, because people who hate don't get into heaven, she says. And if you don't make it into heaven when the time comes, you can't hit the rewind button and try again. I have something to say about that in a second. Spruill made the decision to share her incredible story because it needs to be told. Children need to know where they come from, she said. And I know it hurts because I have been devastated by this. I know there's a reason why I'm still living, she says, and it's to tell this story. Ladies and gentlemen, it is really remarkable and amazing that the statement made by this young lady, her name was, again, Valerie Spruill, Spruill. I could be mispronouncing the name, but that if you hate, you won't get into heaven. It's not about just whether you hate or not. I'm not going to go into a long diatribe on my beliefs, but one of my main beliefs is that honoring, following the commandments, the laws, the statutes of the Most High God, and living a set apart life as best as you can is more of a requirement than just hate. That's a whole nother Simple Truth episode. But ladies and gentlemen, if we followed what the word tells us, and that we would stop doing what the world tells us, and that is going against the sanctity of the marriage vow, and being committed and courting and not having sex before marriage, these type of things would not happen. If we would be honest and truthful, and as the Bible says, don't get into being shunning of the truth. The Bible says very clearly in Galatians 4:16, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? In this situation, the Bible also says, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Now, is this young lady to blame totally? No. Is this young lady right by getting an understanding of where she came from? Absolutely. But the simple truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, we need to not be so committed to this world that we do all of the things that this world allows for to happen, which means that, ladies, you need to save yourself for the person that will be committed to you as your husband. Families, fathers, mothers, you need to tell your children the truth and allow them to be free in knowing that truth. Ladies and gentlemen, will this change anything? This type of report? I really don't know. But as for me and my house, we are definitely going to serve the Most High God, and we are going to do to the best of our ability what He would have us to do and try to lessen what the world would have us to do. I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of The Simple Truth. And as I always tell you, the simple things are oftentimes the most profound, but yet they're the most difficult to put into practice and to actually do. I want to thank you for joining me, and I'll see you and you again real soon.